Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the channel. If you're a new viewer, please hit the subscribe button so you can enjoy some stories. I have a good one for you today. For everyone else, welcome back. I figured I would introduce you guys today to a psychopath. It's always fun to meet a psychopath, right? Not me, but I'm going to introduce you to a psychopath who you may not have heard of. And her name is Aurora Phelps, age 43. Have you heard of Aurora Phelps? There's a picture of her right there. See Aurora? Cute little Aurora. Waitress at IHOP, right? This is the Black Widow. Okay? Let me tell you a little bit about Aurora, who was married to William Phelps, and she is waiting extradition right now from Mexico. She is responsible for death. She is responsible for destruction because she was meeting men on dating apps. And what she was doing to them, you will not believe. This started in 2019. The case is still transpiring as of today. As I said, she is in Mexico. She is arrested, and she is waiting extradition back to the United States. She would meet people on Tinder. She would meet people on Hinge. She would meet people on Babbel. She would usually target older men, but she has targeted women, and she has targeted younger men. But she would usually target older men. And right now, her charges are 21 counts, including kidnapping resulting in death, wire fraud, identity theft, and other charges. There's 3 people dead. There's 1 man in a coma, and they believe there's many more victims out there. She would drug her victims. She would meet them on the dating site. They would go to a hotel room. She would drug the victims. And then once she drugged the victims for extended periods of time, so these people would end up being classified as missing. She would keep them for days, in some cases weeks. She would empty their credit cards, empty their bank accounts, go after their Social Security, and go after their retirement. And she would get these things. In one case, she got into their iPad and she sold $3.3 million of Apple stock of one of her victims. She then transferred those funds, had them transferred into an account where she was unsuccessful in obtaining the funds. She wasn't able to get her hands on that 3.3 million, but she was able to get her hands on hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So this woman was pretty good at what she did. She would buy gold. She would buy gold coins. She bought a motorcycle, plane tickets, hotel rooms. You definitely want to bring this girl home for Thanksgiving dinner, right? It'd be nice to bring home for the family for Christmas. You walk in the door with her. Her husband says that he didn't know about any of this, and he passed a polygraph test. The man passed the polygraph test. He said that the wife pulled the wool over his eyes, that if she did these things, he was oblivious to it and he didn't know anything about it. And they gave him a polygraph test, which is a lie detector test, the FBI, and he passed that test. So I find it hard that this man didn't know anything. He said that all he knew about his wife is that she was always on the telephone. So if your wife is always on the telephone, if my wife was always on the telephone, I would want to know who she was speaking to, especially if it was men, if she was on the phone with men. And if my wife was on 3 different dating sites, probably more than that, I would think I would be privy to that or would find out about that. And if my wife was disappearing for days and weeks at a time, I would think I would become a little suspicious, right? This guy says he didn't know much about his wife, that he met her at IHOP when she was a waitress. He knew that she had 3 children from an ex-husband, and he knew that she had dual citizenship. But it seems like she was a serial killer, you know. She would in one case, she drugged a man, and she put him in a wheelchair, and pushed him over the Mexican border and brought him into Mexico. How she was able to get away with pushing a drugged out man in a wheelchair across the border into Mexico baffles me. But she did this. And that man was found dead in a hotel room on the floor. Another man is in a coma because she drugged him and he fell into a coma. There's been 11 victims altogether. Aurora Phelps is no joke. There's been 11 victims that they know about right now. She's being held in Mexico. She's going to be brought back to the United States to face these charges. I have a little news clip for you to hear about this woman, if you haven't heard about this case at all. But this is a pretty crazy woman. I would say this is a pretty crazy woman. You never know who you're meeting in life. I mean, you never know what someone's capable of. Would you look at the picture of this woman and think, I would, because I know that people are capable of anything. I've met all types of people in your life. You don't know what your next door neighbor's involved in. Your next door neighbor could look like the most sane, prudent, normal person and be the most perverted person. So you never know what people think, right? Or you never know what people are thinking. Just like the serial killer from Long Island, Rex Huberman, the guy that was killing all the women and dumping them by the beach. You know, it just looked like a normal guy in his house on Long Island, right? You never know who's who. You have to be so careful, right? And this is because the person that you're looking at, if I was to say to you, my name is Fish. If I was to say to you, have you ever seen Fish before? Your answer would be yes, because you're looking at me right now. Stay with me right here with this. But in fact, you've never seen me a day in your life. You think you're looking at me right now, but you've never seen me a day in my life. My mother has never seen me a day in my life. My friends that I spend every day with have never seen me a day in my life. You would say, how is that possible? I say it's possible because you're confusing me with my body. These are two different things. Who I am is on the inside. Are you following me? The body is just a carrying case for who I am. The body is just a carrying case for everybody in the world. As the old saying goes, the eyes are the window to the soul. Do you know why they say that? The eyes are inside of your body, looking out. I know this may sound a little heavy, but listen to what I'm saying to you. Your eyes are the only thing that are inside of your body. Your eyes are attached to who you are. This is why you can look at someone's eyes if they don't have any body movement. You could look at someone's eyes and tell if they're happy. You can look at someone's eyes and tell if they're aroused. You can look at someone's eyes and tell if they're angry, if they're sad, depressed, if they're scared. The eyes are the window to the soul. The eyes are attached to who you are. The body is just carrying who you are around. So you have never seen me a day in my life. I'm on the inside. And you never know what someone is thinking. All you know is what they allow you to see. And when you meet people in the world and you meet people in society, you only see who they allow you to see because we don't know each other's thoughts, right? And thinking can be very twisted, right? And so you meet a woman like this Aurora Phelps, who's a waitress at IHOP, and think that she's just a normal woman, divorced, right? Everything is fine, but she's killing men. She's robbing men. She's scamming men. You know, I have a little video for you to watch about this woman so you can hear a little bit of the story. Check this out.
We're going to turn now to the alleged romance scam on steroids. We're hearing from the husband of the woman accused of drugging and robbing men that she met on dating apps, as prosecutors look into possible murder charges. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman joined us with more. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. The FBI says Aurora Phelps orchestrated the most sinister romance scam they've ever seen. Now they're telling us they're investigating whether the deaths of her victims was a byproduct of all the drugs she allegedly dosed them with, or whether she intended to murder them all along. This morning, the FBI is investigating whether Aurora Phelps, the suspect behind what authorities are calling a romance scam on steroids, wasn't just after her victims' money, but their lives, too.
Does the FBI believe that she intended to kill them by drugging them, or that was just part of how she was able to get the money out of them?
If you have one or two victims, maybe there's, an accident. In the 20 plus years I've been in the FBI, you start to rack up number of victims and the number of bodies, you certainly start to suspect and want to look into, is there more nefarious intent?
Authorities say Phelps would lure older men in their 60s and 70s on dating apps, drug them, steal their identities, then their money, buying gold coins, plane tickets, hotel rooms, motorcycles. She would even kidnap them, says the FBI.
We believe Aurora Phelps deliberately drugged someone in the United States, put him on a plane with her, flew to Southern California, and then put him in a wheelchair and pushed him physically across the US-Mexico border, then got on another plane, went to Mexico City, checked him into a hotel room, and we know that that victim was later found dead a few hours later.
She's been indicted on 21 counts, including kidnapping leading to death. The FBI says her alleged crime spree dates back to at least 2019.
Certainly actual losses, likely in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and intended losses, millions of dollars.
That as her husband, William Phelps, telling the LA Times that his wife was on the phone a lot, and he now wonders what she was doing. We've known each other for 14 years, he said, and she's never shown a sign or an ounce of this. If she did do it, damn, she put one over on me. The FBI is asking any additional victims to come forward, but tells me victims may be too ashamed about what happened or were too drugged to remember much at all. They fear other victims might not be alive. Now, Phelps could face life in prison if convicted on all counts, but we're told she might fight extradition from Mexico, a process that could take months, Robin.
Such a bizarre story. Matt, thank you.
As you see, the woman is out of control. So now we're waiting for her to come back from Mexico, and the FBI right now is looking for more victims. But I figure I would introduce you to the psychopath of the day, the dating app monster. I hope you enjoy.